But this one, speed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when somebody says, when they're talking about the speed of a woofer, the speed of
Right,
a sub, that it's a fast
right.
woofer. I think that's always debatable for me because
So
I
here's
feel
my
like that's a frequency thing. I mean, like if it can hit 200 hertz, then that's much faster than 20 hertz. So
exactly. Yeah. So frequency is a function of time, and so time is a function of speed, or I guess the other way around. So you can't tell me that this 50 hertz notes hits faster than this 50 hertz notes, because then one of them will not be hitting 50 hertz.
maybe
I
I
mean,
think what they might be referring to, if I were to guess, is its ability to overcome inertia. So let's say, for example, I think we talk about more about control, the amplifier's ability to control a driver and make it
right,
stop, right?
right.
Because
Well,
in a real world, when the driver hits, it doesn't just come to a complete stop after it's done, right?
right. Yeah, it kind of settles back down. That would be step response. Is something you would look at. Damping. If you anybody who took lessons in statics or dynamics, stuff like that.
Springs.
Yeah, springs, exactly. Yeah,
So maybe that's what they're referring to. I don't put too much into that, as much as
yeah.
some people say with if you have an open baffle, just it's such a quick. I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Well, and I think too that speed, a lot of the times, if you pay attention, most people are talking about speed in the mid bass and bass region, and to me, that's very dependent on the room modes,
Room modes, and then this next thing here, timing.
timing.
So timing, I would
So
say, with regards to, let's say, time alignment, especially when we're talking about
yes, yeah,
bass and crossing over to your other drivers.
right.
I think that's very important. I think that's the reason why a lot of people think that a subwoofer is slow, is because it's literally offset and playing later than the other
Yeah,
speakers.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and you can also have two subwoofers or two speakers time aligned, but they can still be out of phase at the crossover point. So that's something else. If you get everything lined up in time and you get the phase set between the two speakers lined up well, then your system will kick butt. Let's just put it that way.
That's a very
But it's hard
important.
to get done.
People need to understand how to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Warm. What's warm?
Warm. Usually, when I hear warm, I think of some kind of not a not a steep bump, but I think of like a slight bump. I guess the opposite of recessed is the best way for me to put it. In the mid range is usually what I think of when I think of warm. A friend of mine used to consider warm something that had a rolled off high end, because then everything was on the below 2 kilohertz was left there, but below that it was all kind of rolled off, so it sounded warm to him. So that's a perfect example of two people who've been doing this thing for a long time with two totally different explanations for it.
And the other thing is, I've noticed that when something has a little bit more bass, some people also consider that warm because the
Yeah,
bass warms it up, right?
yeah, yeah. Well, you can look at it like this too. It's two sides of the same coin. Is a boosted bass is relative to high frequency. That makes the high frequency sound lower.
How about
So
let's just call it a, a downward tilt,
I
right?
could I could do something like that. Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
we're talking about bass. I'm always forgetting which way it
I
is.
know. I'm
It's
the
always the
same.
opposite. So
Yeah, it's
treble
opposite the
this
way I want to
side,
go. Yeah,
and then bass. So more of a tilt equals
right.
warmer, and then I guess this is cooler.
This is cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sound signature I just put
Now,
chocolatey here
you're
because
going to tell me what chocolatey means. It's like sexual chocolate.
I've heard people throw around these weird terms like chocolatey, and I think they're just talking about a sound signature. How about this? Forget chocolatey. What is sound signature?
Is it something like timbre, maybe?
Yeah, you know what I think it is? Just kind of like the frequency response of a speaker, and some designers tend to have,
Right.
a certain signature that they add to every single speaker that they have. Like, it's their kind of philosophy on how it should sound if it's not flat, right?
Right.
And so if you
Right.
see something in
Yeah.
common, that kind of becomes their signature sound. So I
Yeah.
think that's
That's
maybe what that is.
there seems to be a lot of companies. Klipsch seems to favor a higher frequency boost, in general. So I would say that's a sound signature of Klipsch.
Yep. Harsh.
Harsh.
That's
Yeah, that's
that's like
that.
your reviews. Your reviews can be kind of harsh.
If it's a crappy speaker, then yeah. But I'm being a little bit more lighter and stuff now. But harsh to me that could be anything. Usually though, harsh is higher frequency. I would say like 2K and up. But you could have anything in there that's harsh. You could have something that is harsh at 2 kilohertz, or you could have something that's very, very sibilant and it's harsh, like it makes you go oof, like painful to my ears.
And I don't think I included. I wanted to include the equal loudness contour curve here, but
Yeah.
why don't you tell me earlier? You said 2 to 4 kilohertz. Why is that a range where you think that might be harsh? And let's just knock out this one while we're at it. Fatiguing. Why would it be
Fatiguing,
harsh or
yeah.
fatiguing?
So in reference to the equal loudness curve, so you're talking about like how we're more sensitive to about 4 kilohertz in frequency than any other frequency, because we hear that more easily when you play in just straight sine tones. That's the one that's first detectable is, I think it's 4 kilohertz, 3 to 4, somewhere around that region. And then as you go lower in frequency, it's harder and harder to detect those tones. So you have to turn them up higher to be able to hear those at the same threshold that you heard 2 to 4 kilohertz or something like that.
I heard that baby crying is around that frequency, which kind of makes sense from a evolutionary standpoint.
Wow,
Yeah,
yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah,
yeah. You're
I can
supposed to.
see that.
You can't ignore that one. It
What
hurts your
about
ears.
yeah? I was gonna say, what about puppies crying? Because my puppy's been doing that a lot lately.
I don't know. Why don't you? I'm sure you're gonna measure it someday.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, this one's kind of funny to me. I threw in a few here that I think are kind of funny. So, a
Okay.
blacker background. Have you ever heard that term?
I've numerous times. Yeah. To me, that just means that there's a lack of noise, either in the recording or the instruments themselves. As far as like what you're listening to, the hardware.
Yeah,
And so I kind of get that one, but yeah.
I've heard it in terms of cables, which I'm not a believer in.
yeah. Yeah.
But when they say blacker background, to me that just means lower noise floor, right?
Exactly.
So if you have a microphone that has its own noise, that's the noise floor, right? So the lower that is, the better. And so I think that's what they're referring to here. Now this one is
Yeah, I
kind
would agree.
of I heard it from the kitchen. I said, "AKA snake."
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
heard?
Or my
I heard it
wife
from
heard
the
it from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I hear my wife laughing in the background. So, heard
She heard you
it
from the kitchen.
She heard me from the kitchen. So yeah, heard it from the kitchen. I guess what is that? Supposedly, like the difference was so huge,
Yeah.
people are way off axis. They're in
Yeah.
a different room, could hear the difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about
I
all
don't
that.
know, man. Well, you know how bass is. If you move a foot in the same room, bass can sound completely different. So, like, I don't know what kind of gravitas that gives you when you say that my wife heard it from the kitchen, or my, 16-year-old son who has the best hearing ever heard it from 3 floors up. Like, we don't care what they heard. You're supposed to be reviewing it
Uh-huh.
anyway. Anyway.
And then so snake oil. They know. I guess that just means like something that doesn't really work.
Right.
How about this soundstage?
Soundstage. Oh, soundstage. All right. So that should be more like a three-dimensional space that represents, the various instruments in the soundstage. So if you have a singer, behind the celloist, or you have a hardcore heavy metal drummer, 3 feet to the right of the main singer, you got different things placed throughout the location. A soundstage would be representing where all those things are placed on the soundstage. And I guess that would really be more along the lines of imaging. But the soundstage kind of encompasses everything that the image is within, I guess is maybe a better way to put it.
I would say soundstage is almost the width, how wide it goes,
Yeah.
and then imaging might be placement of things within that soundstage, right?
Right. I would say soundstage is a three-dimensional space, and then the imaging is where those things are in that three-dimensional space.
There you go.
height,
Even,
width.
even
Yeah.
better. Even
Yeah.
better. I think we kind of touched on this before, but neutral.
Yeah. Just a flat on-axis response, nothing going crazy off-axis, just overall a neutral sounding speaker that doesn't do too much or take anything away.
Okay. Now let's start going into kind of more advanced
Diffuse.
stuff.
That's a diffuse one for me.
Is that
That's
right?
to me. That one. When I don't like using the word because I don't. It's hard kind of to comprehend sometimes. But diffuse, I guess, just means that it's kind of hard to grasp. So if you're listening to a stereo system and your imaging isn't precise, you may have a diffuse soundstage or diffuse imaging within that soundstage where things are supposed to be at this location, but maybe it's over here, or you got things doing a whole bunch of crap because of reflections in the room. So diffuse is hard to pinpoint, I guess would be a better way to put it.
How about scattered? Like it's kind of like instead of a
Yeah.
direct sound, it kind of scatters it. Think of like those
Yeah.
reed diffusers for scents in your
Right.
bathroom. They're the little sticks, and instead of it coming
Right.
from one spot, it kind of like spreads it out.
Well, and I
something
was
like
even
that.
thinking as I was thinking of the word or the phrase, the Bose 901 speakers that I auditioned and reviewed. You place them near a wall, they got 8 speakers firing toward the back of the wall, and they throw a huge soundstage. But trying to pick things out in that soundstage is so hard. You're like, I know the singer's supposed to be the center, but she's left and right of center at the same time. So how does that make sense?
So just think about it the opposite of, let's say, a laser beam is very precise and straight beam, and then diffuse would be something with a very soft light that's kind of just going
Yeah,
everywhere.
I could do that. I'm going with that.